Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I want to do a video for you on habits, rituals, routines, and standards, and kind of unpack each and differentiate between them because they're often strung together and used just that way: habits, rituals, routines, standards. But wherein does the difference lie? And so I'm going to jump right in. First and foremost, a habit is what you're most accustomed to, is brushing your teeth. Like, habits are unconscious actions. They require little, if any, thought. They're done repeatedly. They're part of your routine, say. So habits and rituals work into routines, but they are distinctly different things. And so you're habitual about the brushing of your teeth when you wake up, before bed, taking a shower, whether you're shower before bed or first thing in the morning. It's different for everybody, but it's unconscious. It's just something that they do day in and day out and don't think much about. So, and good habits are a basis for a solid routine and ultimately increasing your standards. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But before we kind of jump there, what about rituals then? What's different between a habit and a ritual? Well, I define rituals, things that are ritualistic in nature, as requiring parts and pieces, the coming together of a handful of different things that happen in a certain order. So it's not habitual in the sense that it's just done unconsciously. It requires you to be there and be present and be doing it in an order. So for example, with me, meals are very much ritualistic. So as part of my morning routine, I've got habits like brushing my teeth and showering, but I've also got a ritual around what my breakfast preparation and consumption of looks like. So I'll warm up oats, and while that's happening, in parallel, I'm slicing up some fruit. I'm pulling seasonings out of the pantry. I'm getting coffee going. I'm pulling the cider vinegar and the oregano oil out of the medicine cabinet. So I'm aggregating all these parts and pieces into what will ultimately be a meal that I'll consume in one sitting. But I'm ritualistic about getting all those parts and pieces in place, and then the sitting down and consuming of that meal could be seen as habitual, but I like to call it ritualistic in that if it's not prepared just that way, or if even an individual component of that meal is not present, something seems off. And so that's why it's ritualistic and not habitual. And so, and in everybody's world, in everybody's routine, that'll be different, but at least there we can kind of create separation between those two. What's important to know about those two, habits and rituals, is that they're both a bigger part of what is a routine. And so routines will set you free. I genuinely believe that to be the case. Some people feel constrained and kind of locked down by routines, but the reality of a routine, the reality of it is that the routine is what will create for you the freedom, the bandwidth, and the capacity that you would otherwise waste and spend making a whole handful of decisions that you needn't be making because they're really not needle movers anyway. Get habitual and ritualistic about those things, and then just weave them into a routine, and then save your decision-making capacity later in the day for things that matter. And so a morning routine is the most common example. And so wake up, consume some water right out of the gate, meditate, read, go for a workout, a run, whatever that looks like for you, a ride, come back, a shower, shower habitual, breakfast right after that, ritualistic. So there's a habit and a ritual woven together into a larger routine. So, like I said, morning routines are the easiest example. People have got routines around a lot of other different things before they speak. There's a routine that they go through, inclusive of some rituals. Maybe before they go out on stage, they've got a ritual around how they get fired up, what their meditation practice looks like. Some people bounce on a rebounder just behind stage just to get their blood flowing. All those things woven together, all those habits and rituals woven together make a routine. And so why then do you want these things, right? Seems like a lot of things to bog you down. Well, it's actually the opposite. Habits and rituals woven into routines set you free. Free to do what? Free to set and achieve higher standards. So without these things, without commitments to doing these small things, how then can you ever set and achieve a new high watermark, a standard that you can be proud of, a standard that you can work towards? I would argue that you start with the small things, and a lot of other very successful people have, and the science backs it up. It's make your bed. It starts with something that simple, right? If you set the intention, set the tone for the day with something simple as a well-made bed, things then, right, start to unravel in a favorable direction. And of course, you could be derailed, but ultimately you wind up back on the rails, assuming that you've got the right habits, rituals, routines in place in an attempt to achieve the high standards that you choose and set for yourself in the form of goals or whatever those might look like. And then just one final comment on the standards piece. The standards, the high watermark to which you operate, right? In our world, we like to call it how you do anything is how you do everything. So we're working towards that standard always. How then do you get that standard, and how do you just kind of level that standard up just a bit so that way you're always growing? So there you have it. Habits, rituals, routines, standards. Why are they different? How are they different, and why do they matter? I encourage you to take some time to get habitual about the simple unconscious, subconscious things. Get ritualistic about the ones that matter to you. Weave them together into a routine that will ultimately set you free to focus on achieving the new higher goals and the standards that you set for yourself. So I hope this video serves you and brings you value. Engage with us here. Feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and look forward to catching you guys on the next video.